Hello, hello. I'm just kind of flipping this around, figuring it all out. This is my Mama Love Planner, and just trying to turn it around, I think. Here we go. Hi, y'all. So, hello for you guys that are new to me. Hi, my name is Brooke-Sidney. Hi, Lynn. I am jumping on today because I wanted just to kind of take a pulse of a lot of the things that are currently going on and to talk about, I'm going to actually share how I'm feeling as a spiritual wellness coach as well as an entrepreneur with a couple different businesses. But I wanted to jump on because I wanted to really talk about a lot of the things that I don't think many people expected to even occur in our lifetimes. And I'm not just talking about the pandemic. Today, I'm actually getting to talk on a lot of the things that the pandemic has shown, and maybe why some people, especially those that are people of color, I feel like of the blacks and browns out here, and even Asians, because of the widespread I feel like bigotry, prejudice, and racism that people are now seeing is still in the environment, right? It's still present in everyday life. And I think that a lot of people, myself included, have known that it's there. But this pandemic is actually revealing, I think, so many of the cracks in our society and so many of the things that are going wrong, right? And a lot of us, right, there was no preparation for this, right? There was no preparation for this. So for those of you that are new to me, hello. My name is Brooke-Sidney. I am a spiritual wellness coach and speaker, as well as a soul story coach, and I help people in a couple of ways. Let's see. I don't know how to get rid of people on these things. I'm rarely on Instagram. I'm usually on Facebook Live, but I decided to jump on Instagram today. But yes, I'm a spiritual wellness coach and speaker, and I help people in two major ways. The first way is that I really specialize in helping people love themselves and the lives they are presently living. As I always say, I believe in heaven. I just don't think we have to wait to get to heaven in order to love ourselves, right? And enjoy the lives that God has given us. And I help people, specifically my single mamas and single ladies, of which I am one, by dropping those stories that we've picked up along the way, whether it's from childhood or broken relationships or just life disappointments. I help us drop those. Hello, you guys that are joining. And move into the life that God designed for us and our highest and best, right? So that we can have more peace, more power, and more presence today. And then I also help people as a soul story coach. Hello, you guys that are jumping on. And I do that by helping people that are feeling the call to write. You know, they're getting the whisper, the urge, the nudge, perhaps from God to say, now is the time to share your story. And I do that as a ghostwriter, an author, coach, an editor, and as a publishing consultant. And I actually love that. I am such a book nerd. And books and reading right now are getting me through. But today I'm jumping on because I want to address something that's in the atmosphere, that is in, I feel like, most people's spirits now, that are conscious, that have a pulse, and a real heartbeat. So, you know, it's no surprise. I'm not going to get on. Sorry, I'm turning down the heater. I'm not going to get on and talk about, the pandemic. We all know that we're in a pandemic right now. But what many of us, I think, weren't expecting, especially at the level that it's occurring, is I feel like the lack of good information that's coming out, right? The lack of information surrounding the pandemic, around COVID-19. I don't think many people expected the widespread abuse of power that is occurring by President Trump. I don't think that anyone expected, especially at the levels of disproportionate effect to, I feel like, people of color, African Americans and Hispanics and so forth. I don't think that anyone expected all of the other micro and macro aggressions that are happening right now, and that the pandemic and COVID-19 are truly exposing. And I don't know about you, but there are times, right? Like definitely we're all coming to grips with COVID, right? We're, even though there have been, let's also reflect on this. There has been massive waves of misinformation given on purpose, right? And we have a president now that used a press conference and used a briefing to misinform some more. You guys, we have to start taking note of this. But all of these things weigh on us mentally and spiritually. Everyone right now is trying to do the best that we can. And so, we're all dealing with COVID. But then on top of it, we're seeing the breakdown in our government, and we're still seeing widespread disparities in healthcare access, disparities in how people are being treated. We're seeing people being still abused right now in our system. And then we have a president right now that frankly is not addressing the suffering of people of which he is supposed to as our leader. And it is incredibly disheartening, right? It's incredibly disheartening. And I think that a lot of people, myself included, we're wondering, why do we feel this sense of heaviness? We cannot turn on the television without finding out a story that we need to now go and double check 3 and 4 times to see if we're even getting the truth about it. You guys, that's incredibly soul wreaking. It's like havoc on our souls. It's havoc on our spirits. And I feel like especially for people of color, when we're seeing just widespread injustice, everything from political elections now that are still occurring in places where they could have had mail-in ballots and mail-in elections, and we're seeing people risk their lives to vote, to now we're seeing situations with our food supply, especially here in California, where you have people that are facing not only life or death as farm workers to get the food supply to us, but also deportation. You guys, I don't think that anyone could have foreseen, right, the levels and the cracks in our society. And I'm just on because I wanted, for one, to share that a lot of us are experiencing things and feelings and heaviness and a weight that we just simply can't explain. And what I am realizing is it's not just the pandemic. It's not just COVID. It is our political system. It is now seeing injustice literally every day. Every time I turn on the news, it's a new wave of some mistreatment, misinformation, inequality, and a lack of respect for human lives and human dignity. And so if you're experiencing just an ounce of this, first of all, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but we definitely need to pray, right? I wouldn't be a spiritual wellness coach if I told you anything different. Like, some of the stuff that's happening in the physical is a manifestation of things that are happening in the spiritual. And so we definitely need to pray. Thank you for listening, you guys. And that we need to pray for our leaders, and that includes Trump. This is not in any way any confirmation that he is doing the right thing, but there are obviously spiritual forces at work. I'm just going to put it like that we need to pray against, right? So pray for our leadership. That's number 1. 2, pray for ourselves, right? Pray for ourselves. This is a time when we really need to seek the cover, the protection, the wisdom, the peace, and the power of God, right? Because if we stay with our physical nature, which is down here right now, and we're in this physical world where we're experiencing not only illness and so forth around us, but we're experiencing mental illness all around us, and abuse all around us, and mistreatment all around us. It can only help but get in. So we need to make sure that we are seriously, and I was reminded myself, because I'm like, why am I feeling like this? Why do I feel so sad all the time? And it's directly related to turning on the news and staying abreast of what's going on. It's not that I'm saying we shouldn't. We should definitely limit that and pay attention to the sources where we're getting information, but understand that there's an attack on us. There's an attack on us physically in our health. There's an attack on our minds, and there's an attack on our spirits. And the only way that we can truly fight that is in the spirit. And so I'm asking you, I'm encouraging you, I'm inviting you to spend time in prayer, and to spend time in prayer first. Get your shield, get your guard up first. And then I think the last thing that I want you to do, and I'm going to be doing it as well, is to really be paying attention and using your voices. Everyone now can use our voices. They're trying to shut them down. It's so interesting to me that this president who talks about a deep conspiracy, a deep state, but yet now is calling for any questioning that seem like conspiracies to be taken down. We have organizations like Facebook, Instagram, owned by the same people, YouTube, starting to censor people. If there are theories up right now that you don't agree with or you think are ridiculous, let science and public opinion and everything else shoot them down. Why all of a sudden are we living in a country that claims to be a free world democracy censoring people? And yet the mere word conspiracy is spoken and something gets removed, but we have a president that speaks on conspiracy every day and is tainting our federal government as well as our press. The way that we can fight this is, one, with our minds and with our spirits, which I already mentioned too, but also with our voices and with our actions. The election will be here before we know it, and these atrocities that are occurring cannot be forgotten. They cannot be forgotten. I think that's the only thing that's getting me through my day besides God and prayer, is the hope that people are finally waking up, that people are finally seeing how certain people feel about other groups of people, and how certain lives are not respected, and what is truly needed in our country. I'm encouraging you to think about healthcare, right? Healthcare for people. When we have vast amounts of people and groups that are right now on the front line, farm workers, people that are literally, they have no safety net. They have no safety net. And we have no protection for them, right? Think about healthcare. Think about education. Think about jobs. Think about wages. Think about all these things now. And so that way we are prepared when it's time to vote, which is where we get to actually use our voices and take action. So I just had to get on because I am just, as a lawyer and as a journalist, I am astonished at the abuses of power, the misuse of the law, the misuse of our federal government, the egregious ways that we are attacking our free world system and our press, and really trying to limit free speech right now and undermine our election system, which is the pinnacle of any free world nation. So I cannot sit silent. I cannot sit silent while this is occurring everywhere, and at every part of our system. And so it's time now, I don't care what party you belong to, just to wake up and pay attention, right? Whew. And then when we have questions and when we have fears and we have this sadness and we have this place that starts filling up in our chest and we wake up and we're wondering, why do we feel this way? We know that we can, for one, go one place, and that is to God, and make sure that we are resting in the true power, right? But then when we come back down, we come out of our secret place, then it's time to battle. It's time to use our voices. It's time to pray for our government and our leadership and for ourselves, and then act. This is not the time to be quiet. This is not the time to forget. This is not the time to, allow people to trespass on our rights as American citizens. It's not okay. And it's never going to be okay. So my hope is that you will encourage at least one person, if not more, to listen to this video, to share it out. DM me, message me, let me know what you think. And yeah, I'm wishing you all an amazing and blessed, I need to, I don't use Instagram a lot, but definitely want to say thank you for those that are joining. Please listen back, and I'd love for you to share it out. But these are some thoughts and solutions on things that you can do right now when you're feeling this heaviness that is actually more than just a pandemic. It's the knowledge now of what's truly happening on a wider scale in our country, right? So here's some thoughts and solutions. I'm trying to pin a comment for the heaviness that so many of us are feeling. So thank you, friends. I think I'm supposed to do this first. The universe called me here. Fantastic. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I'd love for you to share it out if you feel so moved. And yeah, now's the time to use our voices. Talk to you soon.